Hey, what's up, guys? It's Stony the Storyman here. I'm here again to bring y'all another story today. Now, this story is mine personally, so I really hope you enjoy it. This is a part two type of thing, or like, I guess a series, not like the same day, but it's the same class and like a very similar situation. So, I'm sure from the title, you already know what it's about. I'll put it in a playlist with the other one, but go watch part one if you haven't yet, or like the first vid of this, I guess. I'll put them in the same playlist, and let's get right into it. So on this day, I'm in college and I had three classes. I think it was a Monday. It was either a Monday or a Wednesday, but I had three classes. Started at 9:35 and then it went to 2:10 was when I was done with classes. But I had a class in the middle of these like three, of course, and that middle class would get out early all the time or she'd cancel it every once in a while. But this turned out to be a day she canceled it, which only happened like three or four times maybe, but I wasn't going home. I was just gonna stay at the school, save gas money, maybe go get lunch or something. That's normally what I did actually. And that's what I did this day. So I get out of my first class and I see notifications on my phone from the group chat for the second class. And they were like, "Oh yeah, class is canceled." And I was like, "No fucking way." I was like, "Bet." So I go and check on my computer first just to make sure no one's fucking with me. And yeah, class is canceled. And I was like, "Well, shit. Let me go grab lunch real quick." So I go to Bojangles. I normally don't try and like spend money, like too much money. But if I forgot a snack, I would go eat something because I'd be starving. So I went to Bojangles. And as soon as I'd gotten out of the first class and like checked notifications, everything, I had already pulled my pin out. And while I'm going out the parking lot of the college, like I'm just ripping on my pin. And I remember that I have edibles in my backpack. And these are the same edibles and pin. I think it's a different flavor pin. No, it's definitely a different flavor pin from the first one, but same type of shit. HHC pin, HHC gummies. And the person who actually sells these are Dopajola. You can find him at the Dopest shop. Love his content. You can find him on YouTube, Spotify, and a few other things. Shout out to the man. Big fan. But anyways, I was using that shit, and I'm taking some nice rips off this pin. And the place I'm going to is Bojangles, which is like 200 yards from the parking lot that I'm leaving from, maybe 300. It's not far. So I drive over there, and I'm taking some like 10-second rips off this motherfucker. I'm ripping it. And I get to the Bojangles parking lot, I order, get my shit, and I go back to the first parking lot I'm in because, you know, that's where my other class is. My third class is as well. So I drive over there and I'm eating and I'm like, yo, I really want something sweet right now. I should have gotten something sweet at Bojangles. And I was like, nah, but I didn't need to spend the money. So, it was all good. And all of a sudden, my high ass mind just light bulb goes off and it's like, you have edibles, my guy. You have edibles in your backpack. Eat one of them bitches. They're gummies. Like, they're pretty sweet. And when that happened, I lit up like a fucking Christmas tree real quick, reached back behind my seat, grabbed my bag out, grabbed my gummies out, and I was like, how many do I have left? I think I had like four left at the time. And I looked at my watch and yeah, it's I want to say like an hour still till the next class. So I have time like for this edible to kick in. Like it's got time to kick in. So I'm like, well fuck it. I want to be high during this bitch. Let's do it. So, I grab one of the gummies out, eat half of it because they're pretty fucking big gummies. They're only 100 milligrams, but they're pretty big. And I eat the other half real quick. I'm done. And I was like, damn, that was pretty good. Fuck. And I'm still not, the edible takes a bit to kick in, so I'm starting to come down a little bit because I just ate and it's been like probably like 15 minutes since I last ripped the pin because I was already pretty high. But while waiting, I was like, normally the edible takes like, I want to say like an hour and 45. No, not even, not even. It would take the class period to kick in. So if I had to get there at 12:45, it was kicking in like at 2 o'clock. Yeah, so an hour and 15, hour and 30 is how long it took to kick in. Cause I messed up the timing before, like taking it just before class and not kicking in and just it kicking after and I'd be high. But I had an hour before class, so I took this motherfucker and I'm ripping the pin a little bit because I know it's gonna take a bit to kick in. I was like, don't want to rip the pin too many times before I go in if I'm gonna get hit with an edible and then be high out of my mind. I gotta function a bit. So I finished my sandwich. I actually got the Bo chicken sandwich for anyone wondering, and fries. I love their fucking fries. Like so fucking good. It's unhealthy for you, but so good. And I eat that, and I then I think I started watching some like education videos and shit like that, getting my mind right, learning some new shit. And, I'm checking the time, making sure I got enough time because I try and go to class when like one of my buddies from class gets there or something like that, like in the parking lot. And I'll normally walk down with him, but like that's like it's like 10, 15 minutes before class when he normally gets there. So I got time. And something else I remember I was doing something on my laptop. I think I was actually messing like, oh, I know what I was doing. I was writing fucking stories. So I had a few story ideas and I was writing them out on my laptop actually. I wrote a semi script for one, which is that one's gonna be a really long one just because it was a wild night. It's probably gonna be like a 20-minute story time, so let me know if y'all want me to drop that. But yeah, anyways, time goes by, my buddy pulls in, and I see him pull in, so I rip the pin twice because we still got like 20 minutes till class, so I rip it twice, and I'm blowing it down. I have my AC up a little bit, so it's just not a big cloud in my car, just in case, teacher or anything's walking by, and in case I'm not trying to get kicked out of school, like of course. But I get out, grab my shit, go meet him. We walk to class. We're chilling, talking outside for a bit, and the teacher's class ends, and it's actually ethics class. So same class as the last video that like a similar story was on. And we go in, and the edible still hasn't hit me. Like I'm high. I'm probably like a 5, so I'm fairly high, but I can function at the high I'm at. And I go into class, and we're talking for a bit, and then class starts, and we start discussing our readings and shit like that. And I had actually like kind of scanned the reading. Like I'd scanned it for the most part and like read the definition, so I knew what it was about for the most part. But we go over that, we're thinking pretty deep. I'm high as hell, so I'm overthinking some shit. Like I'm going deep into like a rabbit hole type shit, but I'm having fun with it. They're having fun with it. It was all fun, And we're going through this shit. I can't remember what the fuck we were talking about this day. But oh no no no, I know what it was. It was world hunger. It was like Singer's and Arthur's point of view on like world hunger, like solving it or whatever. Like should we solve it or should we not? That's what it was on. And if any of y'all know what I'm talking about, that's awesome. If not, you can look it up. But basically, one thinks we should give our shit to the poor and hungry and everything. The other one says we shouldn't. Like we're more obligated to those close to us rather than those like around the world, like across the world. And we shouldn't give more than we have to. But the other one says give, till you hurt, till you're broke, basically, till you're fucked. Just for anyone wondering. But let me skip that and keep going with the story. So we're talking about this shit, and we touch on a very touchy subject. Like, it's not a touchy subject, but I was the only one who fought like against it, type of thing. It was like, do you owe any gratitude to your parents for raising you, or like, do you owe your parents anything for raising you? Everyone else was saying like no, and I was like, nah, but like you do. And when we started discussing it more, like I was still like, you owe your parents like something. Like you owe your parents something for raising you because, they didn't have to raise you. They're not obligated to. They give you up to an orphanage, leave you on the church's doorstep, anything, And I think one of the reasons I was fighting it so hard was because I was so high, because I hadn't noticed yet because I was getting a little heated, but the edible was kicking in. And when we like stopped discussions for a minute and the teacher was like, all right, initial thoughts on it, blah, 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 blah. And we're talking, I can start feeling the edible and this bitch is starting to hit me. And, we're talking, and I'm like a 7 now. Like this edible is in full swing. I had already said my piece on what I had thought of it. And then a few other group members said their piece. And as the teacher's explaining it, it's getting a little higher. And I think I peaked probably at a 7. I want to say, so I was pretty fucking high sitting in this class to the point like I'm glad we had masks on because I was probably just sitting there not paying attention, probably looked like a zombie or some shit because I was just sitting there doodling. That's all I would do, especially when I'm high. I'll doodle the fuck out of something. Just I try and stay on the edge of the paper, like in between the red lines and the edge. That's where my doodling takes place. But we're going through all this shit and we're talking about it, and we're talking about these two guys' points of view a bit more. And then like what we think is right, what we think is wrong. And I'm high as fuck. So like at a certain point when I hit that 7 point, I was just like, I can't interact. I can't think well enough to interact with these people on a deep subject like about morals and ethics and shit. So we're talking. I'm saying the bare minimum. I'm sitting there nodding my fucking head going, yup. Yeah, and then asking questions if I don't get anything, but asking myself the question in my head like multiple times to make sure it doesn't sound fucking stupid. Make sure it makes some sense logically. before I just like spit random words out, and they're like, "What?" But we're going through this, class is passing, and I am high. I'm normally one of the people in that class. Actually, I'm probably like one of the two or three people who talk. I'm probably the person who talked the most in that class. Like, we had to give our initial reactions about some discussion topic or something. I was normally the person who spoke up just because it was fun. Why not? But this day I was high as fuck, so I wasn't saying too much. But near the end of class, probably like I want to say like 1:45. I guess the pin effects were starting to wear down just a little bit. So like I'd come down just a little bit, but the edible was still hitting strong, and I was probably a 6 now. And at this point, I had like gotten used to it. I was like accustomed. I'm good. So I started answering questions again. Like, still struggling a little bit, but like shit's a lot clearer now, if you know what I mean. And I'm going through everything, and yeah, it was honestly a really fun class being high. It was one of my more enjoyable experiences being high in class, because I did have a little anxiety at first. Being like, when I peaked, I was like, oh shit, I'm pretty fucking high in here. Let me try and collect myself, and thankfully I did. It just took a bit of time, and yeah, that's it. Class ended. I was still a 6. I was pretty fucking high. Tell everybody bye. I'm walking back out of the parking lot with that buddy and like one other person, I think, from the class, and we all walked to our cars. I get in my car. First thing I do, grab my pin and rip that motherfucker. Just don't know why. I was already pretty high, but why not even get it even higher? Like, see how high you can fly. But I don't recommend being high and driving, by the way. Just, I do not condone that. But yeah, I hope y'all really enjoyed this story. It was kind of enjoyable for me to tell, I'm not gonna lie, because I remembered some funny experiences. And yeah, it was actually, what, it was really fun. I appreciate y'all. If you listened to this all the way to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. If you liked the video, leave a like down below. If you didn't, leave me a dislike. That way I know like what type of stuff y'all are feeling, And please leave a comment. I really appreciate the comments. I love interacting with y'all. Y'all leave some funny ass comments sometimes. I really appreciate the support too in them. But yeah, y'all are awesome. For all my subscribers who have left like past comments, I really appreciate it. It's huge for me right now, especially being a small guy. So thank y'all so much for all the love and support. Y'all have a wonderful day. Please subscribe if you feel like it as well. My bad, forgot to say that. But back to it again. Y'all have a wonderful day. This is Stoney the Storyman here and out.